I don't know if I'm the only one that's very warm in here, but it's very warm underneath that wig, so I hope you'll forgive me. Mr. Kennedy, governors, trustees, distinguished guests, parents, families, supporters, and most importantly, pupils and immediate past pupils. As a former pupil of the Mount and St. Mary's, it's a very great privilege for me to be here this evening, presenting prizes to so many of you, and I'm going to share some reflections with you. Almost everything I want to say is going to be directed to the pupils or the immediate past pupils. These are my personal thoughts, and I hope they may be useful to some of you. But before I do that, I do want to address an issue which I know most of you, if not all of you, including the teachers, will want to know right now. And that is the answer to the question, how long will he speak for? I can't be precise about that just now, and I'm going to tell you why. When I was at St. Mary's, Prize Day was held at the Philharmonic Hall in Liverpool on a Sunday. And in those days, one or two of the aspiring wheeler dealers amongst the pupils would take bets on the length of the guest's speech. There was a cash prize for the person who guessed nearest to the actual time, and a pupil was appointed as the official timekeeper. All of this, of course, done discreetly. These days, I'm quite sure that none of you would be involved in any such thing. But in case I am wrong, then I suspect that the winner tonight probably sits somewhere around the 10 to 12 minute mark. And I will let you know, because I have appointed myself as the official timekeeper this evening, and we are a minute and a half in. I have only one slide to share with you tonight. This is my class picture in 1981. Second-year infants on the playground at the Mount, and you may notice boys only. St. Mary's was a boys-only school until I was about 12 or 13. So why, you may be thinking, is he showing this photograph to us? What relevance does it have to you? I'll try and answer that from my perspective. There are 20 of us in that picture, age 6. Assisted by state and other scholarships that were available at the time, we came from a range of backgrounds, from all over Merseyside and further afield. Some families were quite well off, others were poor. Some families included professionals who'd been to university, but many of us went on to be the first in our families to sit A-levels and go to university. And there we were at school, a school with a long history of producing successful, influential people in all sorts of sectors: academic, sport, politics, medicine, law, television, you name it. But of course, we didn't know that at the time, aged 6. We came from different backgrounds, but we had in common the things that really matter. We had parents or other family who believed in the benefits of a great, well-rounded education. And that is what we got at St. Mary's, a great, well-rounded education. With friendships which lasted, with visits to each other's houses, we shared birthday and Christmas parties, we played music and sport together. Of course, none of us at the time thought how beneficial all of this was to our future development. That only became obvious in later years, after we had left school. I'll come back to that photograph in a moment, if I may. I don't mind telling you that when I was at St. Mary's, although Mr. Kennedy has been very kind, I didn't win a prize for anything. I didn't come first in anything. But that was fine with me because I was happy. I enjoyed school. I worked hard. I enjoyed music and other curricular activities apart from the academics. I was lucky. I had lots of good friends. I was encouraged and supported. My first and only prize came the year after I left the school, because in my final year, as you know, I had been voted head boy. The foundation of a great school is great teaching. And in the future, I promise you, you will look back at individual teachers who made a positive difference to you. I had a number of such teachers. I'm going to mention just one, because you know her. She knows I hold her in high regard, but this is my opportunity to thank her publicly, because she helped me to get the one grade A at A-level, which I needed to read law. That teacher was called Miss Abernethy. She was a newly qualified maths teacher. I was in her first A-level maths class. You do know her because she later married another former St. Mary's pupil, Paul. Another successful former pupil, now a doctor. And she became Mrs. Thomas. And now, as vice principal, she has served the school for a huge amount of time, decades. I won't embarrass you, Mrs. Thomas, by putting a precise number on it, but you have served this school for something like, in my world, the equivalent of a life sentence. And Mrs. Thomas, thank you for being a great teacher, because great teachers matter. When I left school, I went to university in Liverpool, the first in my family to go to university. I then went to London and trained as a barrister. I had no previous connection with the law, but a junior barrister who drank with his friends in one of the pubs in Crosby, where I worked behind the bar, as it happens, another ex-St. Mary's pupil, offered to take me to court for work experience. And that was the beginning. And 25 years later, that same barrister, by then a very senior criminal barrister, came straight from his murder trial in Manchester to my drinks party in Liverpool to celebrate my appointment as a circuit judge, as did my family and friends of more than 30 years. I don't propose to talk to you tonight about my work as a judge. If anybody is interested in the law or being a lawyer or a judge, we'll come and speak to you. But there is a much more important message tonight that I want to convey to each of you across both sides of the cathedral. One that applies to every single one of you and your individual future potential. Let's go back, if we can, to the picture. If you haven't guessed, and Michelle in the office guessed straight away this morning when I sent this through, Middle line, third from the left, that's me. I won't identify everyone else in the picture by name, but can I tell you something about the people in that picture? What became of that group of 6-year-old boys brought into St Mary's College from all over Merseyside, from a range of different backgrounds, from families who had not previously been to university or studied A-levels or O-levels? In that picture is somebody who became a BBC producer, a consultant to the Chief Executive Officer of Deliveroo is in the picture. The head of markets for the UK and America for an international online travel group that many of you will have booked your holidays through is in the picture. If you like your sport, a former professional cricketer is sitting to my right in the photograph. A wealth management consultant, a commercial banker, the owner of a successful specialist motorcycle design and repair business, 2 solicitors, a doctor, an agricultural graduate and successful landowner and farmer, a dentist, an architect. I think that's 12 or 13 of the class. I could go on. You may have the point. So many people successful in all sorts of areas, some academic, not all academic, agriculture, sport, television. Was this group's success a mere coincidence? I don't think so. Of course, in 1981, when this picture was taken, even I wasn't thinking about any of this. We were 6. We had far more important things to think about, like the tactics for the egg and spoon race and what time the tuck shop opened to get to the front of the queue. But looking back, we had great support from home, great support from friends, and a great education in a great school. And those factors are factors that applied to all of us, and they were key to our future success. Take it from me, if you will, St Mary's has a distinguished history of producing well-rounded characters with strong values year in, year out, decade after decade, right up to the present day. It's a matter of public record. Pupils, let me bring the focus just back to you. If there is something that you want to do, go for it. Listen to advice from those you care about. We all need help and advice. Keep true to yourself and your beliefs as far as you can. And remember that the love and the support that you have now are fantastic foundations for you becoming the best person that you can. Each and every one of you will have great opportunities. Look out for them, seize them, do not let them pass you by. Think a little about the school motto and what it means. Show your faith by the way you live. I think of it as trying to live the values that the school and my family taught me. Be kind, do your best, work hard, treat people as you'd want to be treated. When you make a mistake, as we all do, try to learn from it. If you do or say something wrong, and we all do, be big enough to apologize. If somebody else apologizes, forgive. See the bigger picture. Enjoy the success of others, your family, your friends. Value them. Be the best person you can be. And in 20 or 30 years' time, I am sure that you will look back on your old school photographs, just as I did last week at my parents' house. Where will the former pupils in your photograph be when you come to look at those photographs years from now? Where will you be? What will you be doing? I suspect you will have a similar story to tell the next generation of pupils about how those well-rounded individuals in your photographs had a great education and went on to do many different things successfully in so many walks of life, in so many places. And I suspect that you will still enjoy friendships with some of the people in your school photographs. And if I'm right, you will feel very lucky, just as I do. You are the future, not some of you, not just those who have received a prize. Each and every one of you are the future. Each of you will, in some way, shape not only your own future, but the futures of those around you. Some will shape the future of a family, maybe a company, perhaps the countryside, or engineering, or teaching. Perhaps you'll be a doctor, or a journalist, or a footballer, or a musician. You may influence local or national politics. Someone has to do each of these things. And I know that amongst you are the leaders, the professionals, the teachers, the musicians, and the politicians of the future. And your education at St. Mary's will support you to have the opportunity to be who and what you want to be, whatever that is, and to be the best that you can be. But in terms of immediate success, tonight, right now, whoever has 12.5 minutes is the winner. It is a very great privilege for me to be back this evening and to share my thoughts with you. I sincerely wish you all the best, and thank you for your time.